Wow, it's like really blue. Why is it so blue? Is it actually that blue in here? I hope it's the just do kind of. This is technically a stream. I'm kind of doing a little test, see what's going on here. Not really expecting anybody to show up. Why is it such a blue hue? It looks like it looks like Antarctica in here. This is wild. I got a like. Nobody's here. Interesting. Anyway, let me look at this. Okay. See if anybody pops up. Got just curious. Good morning. Good morning. It's not this blue in here. I want to be clear. It is like a nice warm feeling. I wonder why. So I'm gonna adjust a little bit of lighting in here. Oh, I wonder what's making it. Okay, that keeps going back to that. Weird. Let me think if there's some other light source I can get on. I'm gonna pop this heater down. How's everyone doing this morning? What's everyone up to? These are the questions I ask about myself when no one's listening. Figured let me check, see what it looks like. Maybe it's just the way this screen looks. So I'm gonna check to see what it looks like on y'all's end. Okay, it is going. Okay, it is going. Whoa, it was me watching me. Okay, it's not as bad. I guess my screen just has an extra blue kind of hue to it. What's going on, everybody? This morning? Let me show this thing out, I guess. We are in the bus. It was a nice. I've technically been in here for like 2 or 3 months. It got down to freezing last night. It's been colder than that though. The coldest night I've spent in here was like 18 degrees, and that was a little bit of a fight. I stayed warm in here. I got a heater. I'll show you guys it here in a little bit, kind of how it's set up at the moment. It's very crude. But I have been in here for about, when was it, September? So September, October, November. Wow, almost 4 months now. I've been living in the bus. It's been a slow process getting it together, getting parts, waiting on things, and figuring out how to make things work. It's been quite the challenge, but so far so good. Got a few people watching now. Right on. How's everyone morning doing? What's everyone up to? I got my coffee here, chock full of nuts with a little bit of sweet and creamer. Just curious says I'm under a heated blanket myself. Might as well get up and get some coffee. Yeah, it's about that time. This has actually been the cat's bed. There's actually a cat bed down there. Tooz's, who's passed out. Let me see if I can get the see if this isn't too jarring. Let's go over here. There's Toonces by the heater. She's enjoying a nice. It's like not only that, it's like super hot right here. I have to warn her to like back up a little bit. She has singed her hair before doing this. Like it's wild. She like is basically a lizard. And she sleeps about 16 to 18 hours a day. Let me share this thing out in a few spots now that it's rolling. Doesn't look too bad. How does it sound? I don't have a microphone hooked up. I'm just using the laptop mic. But how does it actually does it sound all right? I put this on the Discord. Should I put the Discord link in here? Maybe here in a little bit. Things I probably should have done first. Okay, shared on that. Got Duke Tucker saying, "What's up, MK? What's going on, Duke? How's your morning going? Is everyone staying warm? I guess that's the big thing. I'm actually gonna. Oh, I can't cut this down. It's actually warming up pretty good in here now. As soon as the sunlight hits, the bus warms up. Like at least it starts absorbing that heat pretty quick. And but it's been kind of a. I use a foam insulation through here. I need to actually do it a little bit more. I need to like drill holes and then like inject it so it forms to the roof nice. But overall, it's doing pretty good as far as keeping temperature controlled in here. The downside is I didn't have any possibility to get the floor insulated, so the floor is just like emanating like cold, like it's just like radiating off of it, I guess is the word. So like I have to wear booties. Let me show you my booties. I got these booties on. Like you need them in here, just because of how cold that floor gets. With the only thing that's down there right now is like 3/4 inch plywood, and then there's 3/4 inch hardwood floor. So you think it's like, which is pretty thick. I mean, that's like that thick, but it's just wood to metal. It just transfers that temperature, just transfers right through. I'm considering getting some old billboard banners and some like powerful magnets and making a skirt that I can wrap around the entire thing if I'm going to be sitting up in a spot. What's up? What's going? Good morning, Joseph Cannon. What's going on? What else is going on? Well, I figured I'd show you. I haven't been streaming because this has been taking so long. But I figured I'd start doing streams where they can at least take place in the bus and you can kind of see some of the progress going on. The desk is the most recent thing. This has been around for about a week now, but the desk has been built. Isn't too bad. I'll do a better walk around tour. I don't know how much cordage I got on that, but the bus isn't that big. The bus is actually surprisingly small, especially when you see it from the outside. Inside, it actually looks. I think it looks bigger inside than it does on the outside. I don't know if that's saying a lot, but it's only a what we got? We got 4 windows. Then you have the emergency hatch. So the total length of the bus is 25 foot long. It's got a snub nose. It's not a completely flat nose, but it's got like the engine's probably like 2 or 3 feet further back on like your traditional full size school bus, and then it's just naturally a short bus. The actual living space in here from wall to the end of the bus is 16 feet exactly, and so it's a good. I think it's a fine enough size for one person like me. And the 2 cats have been working out all right. There hasn't been too many issues with the cats. I would say the aggression between the two of them fighting is only up like 10%. So that's good. My one cat, I got an orange cat, and it's like huge. It's like a giant orange cat. He leaves as soon as the sun comes up. I have to open the door, and then he just takes off, and then he patrols the boatyard. Um, the tuna cat is like the perfect bus cat. She just loves the bus. She stays kind of around the bus. She'll go out a few times a day, but she mostly just sticks. She's got all these little corners she likes to kind of post up in and check what's going on outside. What's everyone up to? Let me see if I can get some more. About to make some coffee. Maybe I'll show you guys the whole coffee making process. It's just the same as you guys do it. I do have to make sure I cut off the electric heater that's running over here before I make coffee. Otherwise, that will pop the breaker, which is understandable. That's like, I think 3,000 watts, and it's only got a 2,000 watt inverter. But even on shore power, that's like a lot of wattage. And if anybody's curious, I guess I can get into some of the. It's technically a stream, so I can talk about technicals. I never used. I had to get more familiar with these streaming services. I wonder if. Oh wait, there was an audio thing in there. Can people hear me all right? Okay, people are saying sounds good. Okay, good. I wonder if I can like. I'm curious what I can do with this. Oh, I can do a share screen. Interesting. I can't just share. Right on, right on. I think I'm probably looking at like some sort of a streaming software. I don't know if I want to use StreamYards. I might use like Stream Elements or something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna do some searching around. I should ask Alvin Holler what they use, but I think they're using like some sort of OBS. All right. I'm trying to think of like what to do. Can I share a screen? Can we watch something? Let me try to watch something. I'll at least test out how that screen share works. just type in something like fireplace, Christmas music. I'm just curious to see how I do a screen share on here. Take the audio off. Okay, now if I go full screen on that. Are you guys happy that you're watching me figure things out? So if I share this, you guys then see this? Okay, right on. Can I move where I'm at? I want to be side. No, that side. I want to get over on this side. Okay, so that's how that screen share works. Stop sharing and I pop back up. Then I can share again. Wait, what's this? A new tab. I want this. Okay, now we're back in. Interesting. Now if I go full screen. Oh, nice. Okay, I'm kind of digging this. I'm learning things, fellas. Now how do I move? I want to be over there. Anyway, whatever. Just curious, back for a sec. Stormy, Starless Sea, what's up? How are you doing? Good morning. Okay, we got like a little morning stream going on here, which is nice. Oh, there is an edit. Oh, that's for like the details. Guys, I'm like, this is me learning how to ride a bike. I'm doing it now. It's not StreamYard test. I'm just using the YouTube's platform. I'm just curious what it can do, and then if it's not really, I'm not really impressed by it by any means. So I'm probably gonna do like a StreamYard or did it go black? Share screen time. Well, the bus is still kind of in the process, but as far as this was, I'll tell the story. No, I'll stop. Okay. I wish I could flop it. Can I put the fire right here? Or maybe we should turn the camera around. The bus, this was like an adventure. So I sold my house to be able to like purchase this bus and get everything together for it. But I didn't have like enough money straight up front just to get like the bus and start on it before I moved. So I had like a 2-week lease back on the house after I sold it. So I had 2 weeks to find the bus, number one, and then build the bus enough to where I can actually stay in it after 2 weeks. So after like actually finding a bus, which this thing popped up, and I was originally looking for a conversion van, and I was gonna pull along like a little like 20-foot camper trailer, but the amount of weight needed with the battery systems that would require for me to like start doing like full-time streaming inside here, it would have like pushed the conversion van to the max as is. Like it'd be an extra like almost 1,000 pounds in that thing. Plus then you tell in like a 3,000 to 4,000 pound trailer. So my mechanic basically told me you should just find a one thing, like a one vehicle, handle it all. Because originally like this entire concept was going to be just me in a van. I was gonna get like a old school surveillance van and just post up on spots. But after like finding out what everything I would need and then just traveling and comfort wise, I had to go with like just a large vehicle that could handle it all. And this bus came out of nowhere. It was a 1996 International 3600 Thomas built school bus. The 3600s are like a shorter version of the full size, which I think were either 4,000. That's just like their titling was like a 4,000. Then there was a 3,800, and then there's a 3,600. So I'm like near the smaller end of school buses. But it popped up for sale. The price was right, and I just like, okay, well that's the one. Like it was meant to be. And what I really liked about it was this was originally a Montgomery County, North Carolina activity bus, and Montgomery County is where a good portion of it is where Uwharrie National Forest is located, which is like a place that's very near and dear to my heart. So I was like, this is perfect. I got a Uwharrie activity bus, and I'm gonna go do paranormal activity shit in a Uwharrie activity bus. It's perfect. It was meant to be. So I pulled the trigger on this, and at that point, the process of like buying a bus takes a few days. So from the time I sold the house, I had 14 days. The first 3 to 4 days was just handling all the paperwork and getting it legal to where I can move it. and not only that, but like it wasn't exactly perfect when I got it. So the move itself was a bit of an adventure. So I had 4 days. It took me about 3 to 4 days to actually get it here, and then I had 10 days to get it ready to live in. And when I got it, it was just all the seats were out of it, but it was and the floor was done as it is now. It has the plywood and then hardwood floor on it, but there's no insulation, which is an issue, and I'll talk about that if you guys want me to. But so when I got it, it was just completely steel body, just as you would if you just pulled the seats out of a school bus. So in 10 days, we took all the skin off the inside, foamed insulation the inside. Then and while that's going on, like I needed time to stain the boards. So we had got all the boards we needed to do the inside, except for a little bit. You might notice this open spot here, but there is actually there kind of a technical reason why it's open for now. We got to run some wires down through there because that's where the bed's at, obviously. But so we took the board. So we sealed or we sprayed insulated the roof, got the boards up and stained, and then we did add some puck lights in here. This is before there's even the power system in here yet. There's nothing in here. We're just completely gutting it, and then we got the boards up, and then I think we started getting the main issue with it at the time when we first got it was the brakes would just lock up on it. So you would have like when we drove it I had to drive it 2 hours from Uwharrie to where it's at now in the Fayetteville area. The front right brake locked up, and it was after the first time I stopped for gas and we left, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like we had to move this thing, and so I drove through basically probably about 45 minutes with the front right brake just locked up on it, and we had to just boil off the brake fluid and let the thing release because it's got hydraulic brake systems on it. And it happened that actually happened twice. So we fixed the front brakes, and then when those 10 days up to where I needed to move into the bus, I was using the bus obviously to move all my stuff out of the house. On the second or third trip, the rear brake, or I think one of them or both of them, locked up. And this is actually a common issue with vehicles that have just sat for, I guess, with particularly school buses that have sat for a long time. So we were driving. I'm literally moving everything I got. This is one of the worst nights of my life. I'm happy I moved and sold everything, but this is one of the worst. I was pure exhaustion after 10 days of getting all this wood up, getting the things squared away, and then we're moving everything out. And the bus that's like I'm going to live in is like the back brakes are just like locked up on it. So I had to do the same thing. I had to cook off the hydraulic fluid or the brake fluid and just let it boil off so that the brakes would actually release on them. And that's what we did. And then so all the brakes on all the brakes are replaced now. So it is good. It works fine. And I didn't have to replace any of the they're all disc brakes. I didn't have to replace the actual disc. So that worked out nice. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Pretty well. They hunker down for the winter. Yeah, I'm really good for the winter as far as like staying warm. I got this. I'll give you guys a little. Let me get the cord out so it's not too sloppy. How you guys like my hand? Let's come around here. The autofocus on this isn't the best, but I'll let it. So this right here is an 18,000 BTU propane heater. I hope I'm not like blasting out the audio that Tuna very much enjoys. And behind it, mounted up, is actually a 30-pound propane tank, and that will last a good while. And right now it's just on the low setting, and this heats up this whole area very well. I needed even with the air conditioner up here, I needed something that could produce 15,000. It has to be between 15,000 and 20,000 BTUs of heating and cooling power to actually keep this size space properly temperature controlled. And that was one of the first big challenges too, because as we were building this bus, it's freaky cutting the first time you start cutting holes into like the roof of the bus, because you don't want it to not go well. You don't want you're really committing to a lot when you cut a hole in the roof of a bus. So yeah, I stay warm in here, and there's also an electric heater that's plugged into the power system here. I'm on shore power right now, but I'm only on a 115 volt amp, like a 15 amp breaker, so I don't have like the full 30 amp power, which I do have available to me. So if I unplug right now, the automatic transfer switch will switch over. I hit the inverter on, and then I'm running off of a lithium iron phosphate battery system, which is actually really impressive. I can run the air conditioner. Like I said, it's a 15,000 BTU AC. I've ran it for 20 minutes before on just the battery power in here, and it has an automatic cutoff where if it drops before under 11.8 volts, then it will cut itself off to protect itself. I didn't even let it get to that point. It ran for 20 minutes, and then I think we were just like, okay, well, we have to continue working on it. So it's impressive. I can run AC off of the power system, and the only thing that's permanently always on is the computer setup and the refrigerator, which is a beautiful refrigerator. I'll show you guys it in a second. So I guess for the question of how long did it take me to get this together, it was probably 2 weeks to get it where you could live inside of it somewhat comfortably, and then I would say probably about 3 months to where it's at now. 4 months is where I'm at now with it, and it's a little bit more comfortable. There's definitely a little more storage space going on, and I'm hoping to get a lot of it done. I was just curious if the blue hue may be the shirt. The wood above doesn't look blue. Oh yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's kind of like emanating some bluage. Just curious. I love it when a plan comes together. That's like my line too. Yeah, like when I wanted to do like an A-team van. I thought that'd be really cool to have an A-team van, like a modern day A-team van I could go hunt Bigfoot in. But yeah, it just proved that it wouldn't have been as efficient as I would like it. I really wanted to have like some comforts, and I wanted to be able to like even with a conversion van, I think I would end up staying in hotel rooms a lot. With this, it kind of eliminates any need for a hotel room. It's like it's all here. I gotta make some coffee. I wonder if I can turn this thing enough to where. But you guys gonna have to see my gray sweatpants. I got some sweet gray sweatpants. Let me turn this thing around. This trunk right here. Can I tell a story about this trunk? Ignore the stack of propane tanks that are full, by the way. This trunk here is my great uncle's trunk, and it's from like the early 1900s. It was produced sometime between 1890s and 1910, according to the hardware that's on it. And it's been in the family forever. It's like my only family heirloom at this point that I have, and nobody wanted it. And I was like, well, I don't know why. It's like this is awesome. It's an old trunk, so I'm getting it properly mounted up. It's going to get turned around, and it's going to be basically the footer of my bed, and I'm gonna have it raised up a little bit. I'm gonna put a backboard though to protect it. I'm gonna kind of build like a little frame for it so it will be protected. There we go. Turn it this way a little bit more. There's the toilet. I don't know if you guys want to hear about the toilet. Maybe not yet. Maybe it's too early for a toilet talk. Okay. I'm gonna unplug the okay. This isn't bad. See my dish set. Okay. This right here is the Max fan. That was another hole we had to cut into the roof. They have one of the options was to be able to. We could have just sealed up these hatches, these emergency hatches. I got 2 of them here. I'll show you the other one. I got these 2 emergency hatches, and I really wanted to keep them because I think they're pretty cool. It's nice to be able to like. Haven't you always wanted to pop one of these suckers open? And what I like about it is you can instantly vent a ton of air out of here if you want to. They also, if you hit this button and turn, or if you turn it, then you hit it, it'll actually hatch open. But I thought it was cool, and I didn't want to get rid of them. So instead of, we could have used one for the AC, we could have used the other one for the Max fan, but I was like, no, let's put extra holes in the roof. We need more holes in the roof. And I have no regrets for that. So I like that. I'm gonna get a little ladder. I'm gonna have like a little hanging ladder. I think is probably the best option where I can go up on the top. And at some point in time, there would be a platform on the back, like a little observation deck, where I could set up like a much higher location for a thermal. Stormy says, I love the lights. Yeah, people like the lights. They're just temporary. They're just fairy lights that I strung up real quick. But at night, it's the perfect amount of light. It's like a nice. It's just nice. It's comfortable in here. It feels nice in here. This is my PJs, by the way, so I stay warm at night. What else is there? Oh, I was going to show you guys the fridge. One of the best purchases I got is the Iceco 60-liter fridge. I know that's power cord. I know it looks terrible, but like most of those things are on right now. But it's a 60-liter Iceco it's got dual compartment refrigerator. And what I like about it is you can, for each compartment, you can pick what temperature specifically you want each compartment to be, and you can swap them. So one can be a freezer, one can be a refrigerator. They can both be a refrigerator. They can both be a freezer. I like that. I like having options. It was slightly damaged. There's like a big dent on the back side of it, but I didn't get that new. I got it secondhand, and no regrets. A lot of everything in here is all the heavy duty equipment is mostly secondhand. The power bench was actually built for it was a resto mod of a 1984 Ford Starcraft RV, which is like a Class B RV, which is like those would be like the in the 80s, it would have been the equivalent of van life today, like a Mercedes Sprinter. But so they were a couple was making it, and then this is kind of tragic. They broke up, and the guy was like an electrical engineer, and he had already built this bench, but it wasn't in the RV yet. And so his girlfriend was like selling everything. I bought it all for like I saved a lot of money. That definitely helped me out. It may have paid for my New England vacation to watch the leaves change, which I highly recommend. I got to do that. I'm gonna go turn this fan on. You guys want to watch me do that? Nice. I guess I'll show you this because I think this is really cool. The composting toilet. It's called a Nature's Head composting toilet, and I was very. That was like one of those things where it's like I don't know how composting is going to like work out inside of this bus. That's one of the best purchases I've ever gotten. It doesn't smell at all. And if you do kind of get close to it and you open like the hatch, it's like a weird system. I feel like it's a lot like how it would probably be going to the bathroom on a submarine because you have to sit down and use it. You can't stand and pee. That's against the rules, bro. You have to sit because your pee has to go into the front compartment, which goes into a jug, and that keeps it separate from your feces. Which I guess if your pee touches your poop, that's what makes it stink. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having some good breakfast. So you have to sit down to use it, but also it's like there's a metal lever. So when you start to go number 2, you got to pop the lever down so that it opens the access hole. Otherwise, there's like a little fail safe that keeps it up in case you're peeing so powerfully that the pee might run into the hole for where the poop goes. This is very complex. You get used to it after a while. But anyway, so if you sit down on it, you use everything properly, you make sure you open the hatch for your droppings. It falls into what is basically a potting soil. It's a dehydrated coconut core, and you just kind of break it up, and it turns into like basically a powder. But over time, as the more you use it, it literally smells and looks like potting soil. And there's a little agitator on the side. So instead of flushing a toilet, what I have to do is I have to bend over, and then there's a crank, and you got to crank it, and then it kind of like tilts up everything. So it's amazing, but it does not smell at all. In fact, the kitty litter box is back there. I would say when you're in the back area there, you smell the kitty litter before you ever smell the toilet. I don't think I've ever smelled the toilet in here. So it's kind of fascinating that, and I only have to empty it out once a month. I emptied it out last week. Ask me questions about that if anybody's curious. But I think that's enough poop talk for the morning. We got a few more people, it looks like, popping up in here. How long did it take? Oh, wait, no, I went all the way to the top. Definitely roof access from the inside. Yeah, I think I love the double hatches. I love being able to top up there. What's nice about this is the solar panels. I have 400-watt solar panels on the roof here, and they're all kind of around this first hatch. So I can go up and clean them off relatively easily just from this front hatch. And then the back hatch is actually more of an open area, which I think it would be a much better observation deck spot. It will be a lot better than a regular tank system. Yeah, and that was really that was from Just Curious. Yeah, and I was trying to avoid a black tank altogether. I definitely want to get like at least a 30 to 40 gallon freshwater tank, and with that probably like a 30-gallon gray water tank. But I wanted to avoid the black tank altogether, just because those do smell like even if like you keep up with them well and all that, just that whatever that chemical is that's in there, I would much rather smell potting soil than like whatever that chemical smell is. So again, and then cleaning it out, I put on gloves. And then you gotta have to get these special composting trash bags, but they're meant to like compost. And then when you open it up, it actually looks like, how did I describe it when it was full? It looks like potting soil mixed with undercooked brownies. Does that make sense? But it didn't smell like what you think it smells like. It just smells like really fresh, uh, like potting soil, like where it's like, yeah, just go to like any like seed store and just smell some of the fresh potting soil. That's what it smells like. And I guess you can use various types of wood sawdust and wood chips to like give it different scents. So I guess if you can get some cedar chips, you can throw it in there. But it doesn't smell like what you think it smells like. And then the it's designed so it's like convenient. You can put the bag right over. It breaks apart to where just the poop section is just like a square bucket, and you can put the bag over it. Then you just dump it, give it a couple shakes, and then it's handled. Duke Tucker says, nice description. Yeah, that was the first thing that popped in my head was like, oh, it looks like undercooked brownies. It's all it looks like. And I guess I just took mine to the dump, which you're allowed to do. I'm not breaking any rules here. I threw it in with the regular trash and took it out, which is supposed to be perfectly fine. I could technically like just take it out to the middle of the woods and just drop it off here, like as long as I got permission to do that, because it would just break away. Probably in days, it would probably break away. Just curious, I watched a guy out west for a couple of years who interviewed people and shows their van and camper setups, and he always asks what they're using for a toilet. Yeah, because that was one of my first big mysteries. A shower, I'm not so much concerned about. Like I can kind of get a shower. I can always sneak like a couple bottles of water and get suds up. I'm not worried about a shower. And like where I'm at now, I'm in like a dry dock getting things repaired. There's an outside shower that I use. But the toilet thing was like, how am I pooping and peeing? Because like sometimes maybe I want a Big Mac, and then you eat a Big Mac 20 minutes later, you gotta be somewhere to handle that. So I wanted to get the toilet in fast, and that was the best option. There was no plumbing, there's no nothing. It's just all you have to do is put some anchor bolts on the side with wing nuts, and you can mount it down, and then you can still remove it so you can clean it out and do everything you need to do. The only thing that I'm terrible about is the pee jug in the front. You don't really see how high it's up until it's like over the 3/4 part. So it'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll notice like, oh my god, I'm about to fill it up, and then I have to go like walk into the woods, like at 3 o'clock in the morning with this giant jug of pee, and that smells terrible. Pee smells worse than poo. That's what I've learned from the school life. What else we got? No, really no comments. This is fun though. Yeah, ask away with bus questions. I enjoy because to me, this is all normalized. But I guess like this is a strange situation to be living in. I know that's all ugly right here, all this wire stuff. That's getting covered up quick, but we were still in the process of running wire down that way. So, and then we haven't actually figured out what to use to cover it up yet. I think I'm just going to do probably a board that goes over it, and then I'm going to do some. I have these mountable kind of desk clamp things. When putting them up. What else is there to do? For backup, super fail safe, I have this I have a Predator 3500 watt or 5000 watt, but I think it's only like 3800 watt like running watts, but startup is 5000 generator, and that's for like last resort, and it can run off of gasoline or propane, and I have the hookups for both. But honestly, the solar panels have been so successful. As soon as the sun hits it, I'm getting like 14 volts from these things, and that goes straight into all the battery systems. So as soon as the sun hits this thing, all the batteries, including the coach batteries for the bus, that all is trickled. Those are like, that's what I like about it. I don't have to keep for the first month I had to like keep starting up the bus to make sure the battery stayed up, because the doors are electronic too on it. But with the solar panels, how it's set up is all the batteries basically get first dib on power. Then when those top off, then everything else starts getting used from it. So and it comes in at probably like under. We haven't had the exact number, but they're 100-watt panels. I'm assuming we're getting probably at least 70% efficiency off of them all. But we do get a steady 14.4 volts. I gotta let the cat in, the other cat, the crazy cat. Wait, well, I need to get like a technical difficulty kind of thing. Yeah, it doesn't have a traditional like door opening mechanism. You know, like when you go to the school bus, the driver would be like, "Meow," and the door opens. It actually has a switch, and you just flip the switch, and the door. And I like that. It saved a ton of space in the front. And to get on the outside, there's like a special key thing you put in there, which I enjoy too. I like anything that involves like having to put keys into things and turning it for something to open. And so the same thing on the outside. You can put the key in, turn it, and it opens up. And it stays pretty well locked. Unfortunately, before I bought this, like the day or two before, some crackhead tried to break into the bus and they broke off the back handle. It was locked and secured. The guy couldn't get into it, so he couldn't steal the. I literally there was like a futon bed in here when I bought it, and the guy had like a little table with like a Coleman stove. That was it. So I don't know what he was like trying to get out of it, but he broke the handle off on the back door, so I gotta get that welded on or replaced. And then the front door, he took some sort of crowbar, but he tore the trim up on it, so I had to use like neoprene to kind of replace some of that sealant power in there. But so the front door is a little bit jacked up. They're like cocked out a little bit from where the guy tried to pry it. Bastard. I don't know why he did that. Oh, that though, the thing's in good shape. I mean, it's a giant 16 gauge steel bus, so there's not a whole lot that can happen to it. And if it does get a dent, who cares? Who cares? Are you mapping out a plan for travel? Maybe a list of places to explore, or just taking with a loose idea where you're going? There is a kind of a map of travel because it's wintertime and this is the first winter in here. I'm gonna stay pretty much exclusively to the southeast. That and I've been doing work with Halbert Holler and Sumter National Forest. So I'm probably going to keep it all in the southeast. I have plans to visit Florida, and there's a few spots in Georgia I'd like to go check out. So there isn't like a hard plan set, but I would say probably Florida is one of the bigger spots I'm going to go to first. That's not to say I'm not going to be doing things before that. I will be taking this thing to Uwharrie. Because it's only 2 hours away. It's from Uwharrie, and I feel like that would be the most logical place for me to start. And I know those kind of service roads a lot better. One of the things that's great about this bus is it's got an insane turning radius from where the front wheels is, or from where the location of the front wheels, which is underneath the driver, basically. It's only like a foot above me, I think, is where the center of the wheel is. It's only like 8 feet behind the driver's seat. Like right here is the back wheels. So this thing has an insane turning radius. The ass, though, does stick out probably an extra 4 feet than your average bus. So you do have to watch out, make sure you're not like gonna take a swing on anything if you do a tight turn. But this thing can turn around. It can park into a double parking lot spot, nice and easy, and it can turn around like a telephone pole, like nice and tight. So that's one of the better things. Another reason why I love this and what it's going to be used for is going down these Forest Service roads where I'm going to have to turn around. I'm going to get dead end, and I'm going to find spots where I'm like the road just stops. I'm going to have to be able to turn this thing around. And the nice thing about it too is that it's like enormously durable. The bumpers are they're like 3/8 inch steel, if not half-inch steel. So if I have to turn around, there shouldn't really be anything aside from a tank that would stop me from turning around. Any other questions? I need to find a good spot to where like the camera can go. Right now this is just on my laptop, but yeah. The front seat, it's kind of a mess right now. We've been doing a lot of work up there. The front seat's been upgraded. The original seat. Oh, is it out here? Oh, check this out. Right there. You see that seat right there? That's the original seat, and it was terrible. It has no it had no recline. So not only that, so I was up driving like this, and the wheel was like down here, and like your back's like this for even an hour, it was like getting exhausting. So the mechanic here, Kevin, he's the one that's been doing all the technical and hard stuff on this thing. We went down to the pick and pull, and we found an old, I think it was a Trailblazer or like a Chevy Equinox, like a 2006. We got one. We were looking for that because they have an integrated seatbelt system in the seat. and that's what we grabbed. We pulled one out. I think it was a Trailblazer, and so we got rid of the giant school bus seatbelt that took up all this room on the ceiling over here. Took that out, and that one seat uh, completely like cleaned up that cab a lot. So now I can just get into it. What that sucks though is like, well, it doesn't suck. It's kind of cool. It feels like you get into like the Millennium Falcon, when like Han Solo used to kind of do a little jump into the seat. That's kind of how you got to get into it, because the way that engine compartment how much that engine comes out, you kind of have to like jump in there, like to get seated up, which is fine. It's actually pretty fun. Anything else? How long have we been going? 40 minutes. Okay, cool. I'm going to go 8 hours. Let's never stop. It's technically a stream. We don't ever have to stop. I will maybe make my coffee, though. I need more coffee. And there is a spot for this is the cat recreational area. Tuna. Whoa, that was a creepy head turn. Whoa. That was like some like. Ooh, that gives me chills. As more framing kind of gets into place, more cabinetry, a lot of this stuff, I know it looks like a mess, but people want to see it, so I feel bad. Like I want to show it because you guys should see it, but it is a mess in here, and it's not because it's like messy. It's just because like I have no place to put stuff yet, but it's coming together. Especially when I start getting like overhead racks, a lot of the stuff's gonna be cleared out. I'm hoping to have basically everything behind that wheel back here. I'm hoping to have all that pretty much freed up, where it's just going to be countertop space, and then down the middle it's going to be an open area. I like kind of hanging out down here. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Over here, I can come down here. By the way, I'm 5'7". You have to be 5'7" to like stand up in here. Anybody over that, you're going to whack your head off the AC. But like, it's nice. You come back here and like you got a little bit of free space. Come back here. You can pet the cat if you want. That's not a bad angle. Aside from like my toilet and propane tanks, just like that looks crazy. I agree. That looks crazy. I should do something about that. I need to find a spot to like hide these propane tanks. Eventually they're going to be under the cabinets because one's going to do the water heater. Because I am going to set up a shower in here, and I think I figured out how to do it. Then the other one's going to be for the cooktop, a little propane cooktop. Anything else? Otherwise, 42 minutes isn't bad. And I had a good time. Looks like I finally got on the roll. Oh, let me introduce you guys. You rarely see this one. This is Ogata. He's the crazy cat. Just look in those eyes. But he's the wild one. He's become the junkyard dog, and he mostly just wanders around. He only comes in to eat and sleep, and he steals my warmth. I think he steals my breath too. I think when I'm sleeping, he gets all close to me and tries to suffocate me. You want to sit there? Why don't you try that out? He doesn't like the beds. You're gonna walk on a 100-year-old chest. Okay, but this was fun. I was just kind of trying to get a. I'm going to test out some different stream software though. Mind having some things to jump to. I came in here with no topic. Did anybody want to talk about Bigfoot or some rake? I want to do that rake incident. Maybe I can do that here soon. That's just right down the road. There was a North Carolina. I'm sure you guys heard about it, but if you haven't, there was a 911 caller from someone riding down Highway 210, which is right in front of me. But I think it was about 30 minutes to 40 minutes down the road here, near the Black River. Someone had like a rake encounter, and I guess it jumped in the back of their truck, and there was like a 911 call where he's like screaming like, "It's not human! It's not human!" It's super creepy. And what was that? Oh, those vultures that fly around here. That sounds creepy, but yeah, I can see their shadows once in a while. So that's not too far. I may just take that out. It's hard because I hate moving this thing when it's in the middle of being built. So maybe I'll just knock out the build first. But I think I'm going to definitely do. I don't think I'll commit to like a 2-week investigation, but I think I'll do like a weekend. That was a cat. But I think I'll do like a weekend looking for that rake. I think that would be pretty cool. All right. Some locals say that the road is notorious for strange stuff. Yeah, and I got another encounter. Well, I had someone else report to me because I told them about it, and they had told me that it was about 8 or 9 years being that same road, and it was during the day, and they said it was actually quite a bit of traffic. Like it wasn't like a desolate day like that guy was out there, or a desolate night. Like it was like broad daylight, good bit of traffic, and they were in that same section of road by Black River, and they saw somebody completely covered in blood, and they assumed it was like a motorcycle accident. They didn't call 911 because there were so many people passing by that they assumed that somebody else already called, and they didn't want to like jam up the operator. But they never heard. There was no. They checked to see if anybody ever heard of an incident out there, like a crash, and there wasn't anything. So they don't know why there was a guy out there in that very similar, very like within like probably a few miles of that original case. There was another incident where someone was covered in blood and like tethered clothes. So very weird. It happened near the Black River along Highway 210 in North Carolina. I don't know what the county was. It might have been Sampson County. I'm not 100% sure though. I gotta check. There was an interview they did on Carolina Case Files, which is a good channel. Check that out. It's like a modern day unsolved mysteries, and I can't remember the name of the host of for it. But that's he kind of broke the story wide in terms of like putting it out there. But he got an interview with the sheriff down there, and the sheriff seemed like he was pretty intrigued by the whole situation. But yeah, apparently someone was driving. They saw a bloodied figure, and they called the 911, and as they were stopping to turn around to go check on the person, this crawler type creature, like a pal crawler thing, jumped into the back of his truck, and I guess started beating on the cab of the truck. And the guy, I don't remember if he hit the brakes or if he sped up, but he did one of the two to get him off the truck, and then I guess he drove away. But it was reported to the police, and I guess that the guy talked to the guy. It wasn't like an anonymous person. I guess the guy spoke to the police and everything about what happened. And I think if I recall, it's been a few months. I think in the Carolina Case Files episode, they interviewed the guy in the truck. So it's pretty interesting, and it's interesting that I got another corroborating story with it. Another story I got in that same location. The guy actually it's one of my friends from high school, which I don't have many of those at all. Um, he sent me that link to that interview, and I had already just watched it, and then he told me that him and his family go down that area to go fishing, and there's spots around there that uh, like make them really uneasy, and they just don't stay in it for long. So I thought that was interesting. And he's a heavy equipment operator. And I kind of told him what my situation was with the bus. So um, he said that he knows a few like old kind of roads that we might be able to get the bus down into. That's why I think it might be fun to do like a weekend doing a rake investigation, even though I don't know anything about rakes. But this is what the purpose of the bus is to go explore hot spots as they're happening. And after working with like Hal Holler and just important, like experiencing what I've experienced with them, and then just like prior to me ever hanging out with them, like all the weird stuff I've seen in my life, like there's a lot going on here. It's a wide variety of things happening here, and I don't put nothing off the table. Bigfoot dwarf, yo! I was watching your stream. I popped on with it last night, or maybe super early this morning. It might have been like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But I just recently watched one of your streams. I had it on. I was chilling over here. How you doing this morning? It's got to be early for you over there. It's 10:30 here. What's that? 4 hours behind? Yeah, that's pretty early, man. That's pretty early. I'm just doing technically it's a stream. It's technically a stream. I have nothing prepped for it, but I figured I'd just ramble and hang out with y'all. What else? Okay, with the rake incident. But that whole area is interesting, and near there is Moores Creek Battlefield, and I think the guy made a comment that the bloody figure that he initially saw looked like he was in sort of like I think he said like a gray uniform, which would be like a Confederate style uniform. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Oh yeah, man, everything is good, Bigfoot Dwarf. I'm hanging in there, just enjoying myself. Um, I'm finally like hunkering down and trying to get as much stuff wrapped up out here so I can start doing more regular streams out in the wild. Um, but I kind of took some time off after I told that. After I got the bus livable and I got kind of settled into it, I ended up going on this amazing vacation up to New England. And it was just me and a friend, and they had a camper, and we just drove all through New England. And the leaves changed like a week early this year, So when we were up there, it was going through all that beautiful. I'm a leaf peeper. I like when the leaves change. Let me let this cat out. He's gonna keep whining. Okay, kitty, go, get out of here. I never wanted you in here. Where was I going? Oh yeah, so the leaves were changing like a week early, and we just happened to be up there for the Whitehall Bigfoot Festival, which we missed because there was a mechanical issue with the vehicle. So we missed the Whitehall Bigfoot Fest, but we were up there and we're like, well, the leaves are changing. We're in Whitehall, New York. We're right by Vermont. I think we're like 4 miles from Vermont. Let's go watch the leaves change in Vermont. And like what was going to be like an extra 2 days on the trip turned into like an extra 3 days in Vermont, and then it turned into like another 2 or 3 days in New Hampshire. Then coming back, we were like, well, we're in Vermont again. Vermont was amazing, by the way. We were in Vermont and we were like, well, we could do another 3 or 4 days in Vermont. It ended up being like a 12-day trip, and it was originally supposed to be like a 4. But nobody was up there. So we're watching all this peak leaf changing. Like, I mean, it looks like the mountains are on fire. It's just beautiful. And no one up there. It's just us. It was so incredible. It was one of the best trips of my life. And like that's like one of those moments where you feel like it's kind of like destined. Like that was something I never thought I'd be able to see without the hassle of lines of cars and people taking pictures. Like to get to experience all that, and it's just like you and some friends. Like it's super cool. Peak leaf peeping, Mr. Booberry. What's going on? I was just kind of like, this is technically a stream, so I'm just kind of streaming. See how it goes. Let me know if it's fun. I gotta do something about this camera though. This blue hue makes it look like I'm in some sort of like freezer. It's not like that at all. It's like nice and warm in here. I wonder if I pop on the overhead lights. I'm pop on the overhead lights. Did that make a difference? Yeah, that did kind of make a difference, right? Bigfoot Dwarf says the camera looks good. Thanks. This is like an old Logitech. I think it's like a 1080 HD, which, by the way, you can get away with 1080 on like most streaming things because very rarely do you ever get a 4K image to stream cleanly. So 90% of what you watch is still 1080, at least from what I've noticed. But yeah, I think the camera's it's holding up pretty well. It probably needs a good cleaning, and once I find a good position for it, I think it'll be. I think it'll look pretty cool in here. And then I think I'll probably end up having multiple cameras. I gotta figure out how to like jump to cameras where I can do like cuts while I'm streaming, because I'm gonna want to be able to show you guys what's going on outside. So I'm looking for like a decent like night vision streaming camera that I can mount up and have where it has to be able to turn, has to be able to move. Same with the audio stuff, has to always kind of be able to move on the fly. The only issue that I didn't consider, and I have to kind of figure it out, is the Starlink. I have the Starlink set up in here, and I got the big one. I didn't go mini. I went like full size Starlink dish. It's huge. It's like massive. It's not that little small one everyone else has. And it has a modem, so I can kind of have some range on it. And I guess you can buy these things where you can extend the range by putting it out. So I want to be able to like jump out of the bus, go check something out if it's nearby, like within a little bit of like if it's not like further than like 100 feet, I can be able to go out there and actually check it out, bring you guys along. And but I have to figure a way to mount the Starlink somewhere on the bus. The issue with that though is in the woods, you usually there's some cat action going on outside. Sorry. I'm usually under the trees. You have to kind of find shade so that the bus stays comfortable. But then but if you do that, then you have a Starlink. So then you have to put the Starlink outside the bus. So I gotta kind of find some happy medium where the Starlink is mobile enough to where if I have to take off and leave, it's like with the bus. But as of right now, like I won't be able to like leave quickly if there's like danger. Well, I can. I'll just be dragging the Starlink behind the bus, which it can handle. This thing has, what was it? It was a crazy stat. I think it's 1,300 pounds of torque at like 1,500 RPMs or something like that. That's wild. That's a lot of pull force. I think Mr. Booberry says I think OBS or something like that. Switching scenes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to like an OBS or there was one I was looking at, Stream Elements. I'll see which one people are saying is the best. Mr. Booberry also says yes, range extenders. That would be neat. That's what I'm thinking. If I have to be somewhat semi-permanent where I'm placed because of the Starlink dish, then I could put out like basically like a net of extenders, and then maybe I can actually get like into the woods with you guys and actually look good. Did the Starlink come with the Elon action figure? It did not. I wish it did though. I wanted that one where he's on the yacht and he's got like a Lego guy's chest. That's a weird one. I'm all about some SpaceX though. I love the Starship development. There's many hours of my week where I'm probably just watching NASA spaceflight YouTube channel. I just have it on streaming. I do enjoy that quite a bit. I'm gonna make some coffee. Come watch me make some coffee. Come on, guys. My fabulous dishes. Do, 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 do. This would be a good time where I would have like a technical difficulties little screen I can pop up real fast. As you can see, I'm fully warmed up in sweatpants, and oh, it's a cat over there. A lot of cat action going on outside. And not the same cat either. What's going on? Oh yeah, Bigfoot Dwarf mentioned the 3-Eye Atlas comet. When is that? That's today or last night, I think, was supposed to be its closest passing with us. What's going on with that? Because I watch that Angry Astronaut channel a lot, and he's been covering it, and he's a pretty down-to-earth guy. And it seems like it has been acting super weird for a comet. That would be cool if it's a UFO. I would enjoy that quite a bit. I got a bottle of water around here. Coffee mug. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Welcome to the school bus. This is like a magic school bus, though. Never in my life. What's crazy about this is that when I was in school, like 10, this is the type of school bus I was in. I remember, particularly the front of this bus, I remember it being the way that it is. I even have that little like mirrored camera box. And I remember a bus driver being like, y'all, they're watching. They're watching, y'all. Okay. But the cab is going to be separated from the rest of it. And I think I'm going to go with like a Millennium Falcon kind of theme for the cab. Bigfoot Dwarf says, rad bus. Thanks, man. I need to pop up. Do I have any pictures of the bus? Hold on. Oh, I do have a picture of the bus. Can I share this picture of the bus? I'm figuring things out. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's the current. That's what it looks like currently. That's what it is right now. And as you can see, yeah, it's a pretty short bus. I was messing around with making thumbnails, and I don't like any of the pictures I took of it, so I gotta get her down the road here and get her in a field. Tuna's having a sneezing fit. My cat's got like sinus issues, so she has to take medicine for it. But you have to like monitor it. But yeah, I need to get her. I need to get her out and get some clean pictures of it and all that. People are confused with the paint job, and it's been upsetting me because I was going for like a safari look, because that's basically what I'm doing. It's like a safari. So I went with like it's called Desert Clay, and it's what's used on like safari buses and vans. It's that like, I won't say it's full, maybe reddish is the best word, but it's like a dark clay kind of color. It's what it is on the outside there. It's that like tan. A lot of the Tundras and like Tacomas you see have that like same paint job on it. But everyone sees it and they assume it's yellow. And they're like, why did you paint it yellow again? And I'm like, it's not yellow. It's desert clay. A lot of people wanted me to paint it black, which I was not going to do for multiple reasons. But particularly, you don't want to cook in a tin can that's painted black. that absorbs a lot of heat. So that's why there's a lot of white on the rooftop here. That's for economical purposes of keeping this thing somewhat reasonably temperature controlled. But the outside, I also wanted kind of a lighter color. I do like green for the most part. I'm a big fan of like olive drab, but I don't want like when I walk out in a parking lot, what I wanted to see was something that was like brighter. Like I want to be able to go like, oh, okay, there's something that looks like cheery. I don't know if it's necessarily cheery, but it's like I don't know. I figured it was I'll bring it back up. But I don't know. I thought that color was like I thought it was a nice color. I was like, it's a nice kind of medium here. And then I did the custom front on it white. I did that mostly because I had a bunch of tape, and I was like, you know what, it needs something on the front. I don't want to just paint it desert clay all over. It needs to have like a nice break, and that might even help keep the engine kind of cool. I am thinking about doing maybe a green trim line to separate the white from the tan, and then maybe I can write like I can put like strange backcountry on the side. The only thing I don't want to draw too much attention to it, and this is an issue that I'm a little bit concerned about, is uh not that like I only have like 200 subscribers right now, but like if it does get like if it picks up steam, or like at least the people who are watching it are interested in the location I'm at, like it would be kind of easy to find me. You know what I mean? Like, is there anybody around with a school bus in the woods? Like, it should be kind of. That's why I got to keep like where I go to. I got to keep it secret for at least like a week or two while I'm filming stuff in the daytime for like an edited video. Then as I'm doing like live streams at night, I kind of got to keep the location where I'm at secret for as long as I can. So I'll see how big of an issue it is. Yeah, Booberry says black also gives a total creeper bus vibe. Yeah, 100%. Like I'm not like some dark and mysterious person. I'm pretty chill. It should have like a chill look to it. It should be like, all right, that bus looks like it's down for some fun. All black, which I got a lot of people saying it should have been all black. And originally when I first bought it, it was like it looked like a prison bus. It was like a blue color um, with like black doors, and I was like, I really don't like it. People love that color, even though my mechanic here was like, oh, I really like that color. It's like I don't. It looks like a prison bus. Definitely gonna be easy to spot no matter what color. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with it too. Is ultimately it's like okay, well, it's just gonna be out there. But I don't know if it's if I actually write like the YouTube channel stuff on the side of the bus, like is that just like too much? I think it is. I think I'm just gonna leave it kind of blank. I may put something up in that window, the handicap window door area. But yeah, Blueberry, cat mask, wild cat man in the woods. Man, if I ran into a cat, that's one of the things I'm worried about too. Is like, what if I run into like just a weirdo, like a human? That would be spooky. That's kind of a nicer color. It's odd how that blue hue really comes in strong. Um, Scorpio says stealthy-ish is best. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking just keeping it pretty much how it is right now. It's probably the way to go. Wow, I turned it and like, hold on, I gotta de-dust my laptop screen. Wow, I tilted it and like the way the sun's hitting it, I couldn't see nothing. Occult stuff. Yeah, occult stuff is another thing I'm really kind of like concerned about because it seems to be fairly common. You run into it quite a bit. Like a lot of it's like you sure it's just like teenagers messing around, but it definitely exists. Like people do that type of stuff. I think my coffee's done. Come on, guys, let's go get some coffee. Like my coaster. Isn't this wonderful? Oh wow, look how much that shakes. Nice. Nice. Just look like a glamper, or is that a bamper? Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, what technically is this? Because I joined a few of the schooly forums, but I don't really like schooly people. They're like, man, if you post a picture of like your stuff on a schooly forum, it immediately gets like completely fucking broken down and trashed. So like, I'm not sharing anything with the school uniforms. So I guess it would just fall underneath like a van life camper is probably more what it is. Those people seem a little bit more reasonable. But I have not had like a good interaction with the schoolie crowd. They're just very they critique me on a lot of shit, but it's like I don't know. I feel like it's doing all right. You know what I mean? I understand that I don't have an insulated floor. What's the big deal? I got booties. That's cheaper than buying and building an insulated floor. Is definitely wearing booties. Ugh. Relax, bro. That should be a thumbnail. I gotta find that spot. Scorpio says, "Yeah, I'm sure it's always wrong." Yeah, that's how it is. Like no matter what you post, it could be the most beautiful thing in the world. And someone will be like, "Well, that's not enough insulation. You're gonna have moisture building up in there." It's like, okay, well, whatever, bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Put down bearskin. See what they say about that. Yeah, real bearskins. That's funny you mentioned that. I was just thinking about. I used to go to my uncle Bob's house. That's when I was a kid. He had I was a kid in Pennsylvania, so everyone has basements, and he had a really cool bearskin rug, and like the bear had like a backstory, like he had hunted it. It was like a local bear. That was pretty sweet. I should get a bearskin rug. And once I figure out the trim pieces for this and get like blinds down and all that right now, these blacked out windows look really creepy, and they're not going to be permanently like that. I'm gonna find a better looking way of blocking out the window. I also need a way to kind of insulate it a little bit more. What do you have to do to insulate the floor? So this is how most people do it is, so what's on the floor now is just like when you see a school bus, it has like a rubber mat and then it has that like the center trail. That's all down there. None of that's been ripped out. When I bought this, the guy had just put down 3/4 inch plywood and those are screwed down. And then over top of that, he put down 3/4 inch hardwood floors. And that's what it is all the way until you get to where the handicap lift is back there. In fact, on this floor, you can see the drop off right there, that line that Tuna's about to walk over. That's where the hardwood floor ends, and then it's just foam matting. And I just threw some carpet over top of that. So what you're supposed to do is get that like 3/4 inch foam sheeting, and you're supposed to gut out the entire bus floor, and then you lay down that 3/4 inch foam sheeting, and then you kind of frame it too. So you put like some studs through it. Then over top of that, you put down, I think, either a 1/2 inch plywood board or a 3/4 inch plywood board, and then you do like a flooring over top of that. Like most people do, like a linoleum or something like that, or you can do like a sticker thing. Um, so that's how you're supposed to do it, and that's not what it was. But you know what? I checked out a school bus before I got this one, and they had done it like that, and it was like really wobbly floors. And at least one thing I like about it here is like the floor is super solid, but it radiates cold. But it's not bad. Like I said, you put booties on. I got a giant propane heater right here. That's gonna cook you out anyway. If you put that thing on high, like this is such a small area, it will like heat up. So it's not terrible. But I think if my ventures are successful in a year, I'll probably do like a complete retrofit, and that's probably when I'll do the floor in here and update a couple other things. Bigfoot Dwarf says with a linoleum you could break dance in the bus. I know. I could break dance. I got some Amazon boxes too. I can throw them down, do a little spin. And then Duke Tucker says that would cut into the height. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Well, I think how this floor is right now, because that 3/4 inch plywood that's down there now, it would just be replaced with the 3/4 inch foam, and then it's got 3/4 inch hardwood. If I get away with a 1/2 inch, I could actually maybe save height when I eventually do an insulated floor. But it's about the same as what it is if it was insulated, if that makes sense. But like I said, 5'7", 5'8" is about where the max out height is, where you can walk through this standing up. A lot of people, they actually cut the roof above the windows and they add in extra sheeting and extra what do you call them, studs, structural studs. They actually extend those like 8 inches. That way you get yourself like a nice over 6 foot ceiling. I wasn't going to do all that. I don't have the manpower. I didn't have the equipment. And I didn't want to spend the money to raise it a couple inches all the way around. So I just thank God I'm short. Thank God for that. Now that tall ass Brooke Moreland comes walking in here. She's gonna be bumping her head on everything. And oh man, if Joe Dolo walks in here, he's gonna be like hunched over like this the whole time walking through this thing. I need to put like some pool noodles around the around the air conditioner up here because everyone waxed their fucking head off of it. They get it hard too. So many people walk in there and it's like, boom, and it's in a position where it like compresses your neck. Like I'm surprised no one's died. Make sure your carbon monoxide alarms for any kind of combustion heat safety. That's a good tip too. Yeah, I'm gonna get actually have those on the way from Amazon because I just got the heater here a little bit ago. I keep the vent open on the back, and I always keep it venting out, so there shouldn't really be anything building up in here. But yeah, if I get that alarm system set up in here, then I can kind of actually probably get it warm in here because I probably won't have to keep. I think I'm being overcautious with how much I'm venting out right now. Let me see if I can show you. That Max fan back there, that thing's on and it's always open. That Max fan, I love that thing. That thing's been great. What else is going on today? I might be going on an adventure today. That's kind of why I'm bored and I'm kind of just waiting around to see what's. I wanted to stream something because yeah, I feel like I haven't given my channel any attention here in a little while. It wasn't since where that last place I streamed from was that Medoc State Park up in the northern part of North Carolina. That was pretty cool. Miss Boober is saying adventure time. It is adventure time. Like I said, this thing moves. Like I drove it the other day. I had to move it from locations around here, and she's a joy to drive. It's a lot of fun. It's like, man, what I can express. It's like, it's so much fun to drive. The first thing when I first got this thing, I was worried about like its top speed is 55. Like that's where its maxes out at. And there's all these like that's another thing on the schoolie forums too. They're always like, oh, you can do this to speed it up. You can do that to speed it up. It does have oversized tires on this thing, so I can probably get up to 60. But there's really no way to get faster than that. Like even if you do take the governor out of the engine, I'm out of gears. Like like 55, 60 miles an hour is like that's it. There's no more gears. I can't go faster. Like it's pretty much maxing out. But I was worried about like being on the road, being on a highway and going slow. That's gonna be chaos. It turns out that when you're a giant 20,000-pound steel bus, you don't have to worry about anybody. Everybody's avoiding you. Everybody's trying to get out of your way. Everybody's passing you. So you can just cruise at 60 and it's not an issue. I never have to slow down. Everyone's just zooming by, but I don't even worry about it. You can't, I mean, I can't do nothing about it. Going down and look for a truck bed crawler. I think you said it was close by. Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I don't know if you were here before that. Yeah, so 30 minutes down the road, 30, 40 minutes down the road here, I'm right by Highway 210. I'm doxing myself, bro. But I'm right by 210 in Fayetteville. And you go about 40 minutes down the road here, there was a Pell Crawler rake encounter near the Black River, and particularly near Moores Creek Battlefield, which is a cool place. If you ever buy it, it's small, but it's worth a stop by. It's pretty cool. Moores Creek Battlefield. Someone was driving at night, saw what looked like a bloody human in like tethered clothes, and they kind of leaned towards saying it was like a Confederate soldier outfit. And the guy called 911 in the truck, and then as he was turning around to go back and check on the guy, this like crawler jumped in the back of the truck, and there was a 911 call that's associated with it. But it happened 30, 40 minutes down the road here, on the road that I'm like right out in front of. Bigfoot Dwarf says 55 can still qualify for a speed chase. Absolutely. I do want to I gotta mess around with some AI and I'll get some good pictures of the bus, but I would love to like have an AI version of the speed jump from the movie Speed, starring Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. But like after I've watched that movie since moving in the bus. There is no way that bus was going over 50. Like I understand that's a city bus and it could probably do like 70 or 80. There was no way that it would stay above 55 after jumping that bridge. There's just no way. No way. I go over train tracks. It takes me like 30 minutes to recover and get back up to like 55. Wave the split. Hi, all. Cool surprise this morning. Okay. Yeah, I figured I just wanted to pop on and see what I can get started. I was going to wrap it up at 40 minutes, but I'm at 1:15 and now I'm having a pretty good time. I do love speed though. And I found a video. I don't know. I'll show you guys this. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me bring it up. I actually found my bus, the exact same model and style of bus of mine. Do you guys remember Nitro Circus? It was like what's it called now? X Games, but there used to be a thing called Nitro Circus, and they would travel around, and you see them at like different. How am I doing this? I'll bring it up here. Check this out. This is my bus doing a jump. Share it. Let's get it up. Let's full screen with it. Yeah, check this out. There she is.
God, oh, shit.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at her fly. Watch it stick to the ground. It completely wipes out. And you can see just how much my dad had cut that thing out. Like there's like no extra weight on that bus at all. It's just like I don't even think there was a floor in that bus. I think it was completely. All this is like double layer 16 gauge steel. I think they took all the inner steel out, took the floor out. I think it was just roll barred with some seats in the front. That was wild though. That's wild. I'm curious. I need to look up like what they used to, because there's no way it could like accelerate. There's another video where it's doing like donuts in a parking lot. So I'm curious what kind of like engine setup they had. Oh, that thing was so stripped out. Let me find. There's other videos of this Nitro bus. I think they took it around. Oh yeah. There is. There's more stuff. There's more stuff, guys. Oh. This is an ad for World at Warship, but I'm Strange MK on World of Warship. If you ever want to like, if you want to duke it out on the open ocean, let me know. Yeah, there she is. Look at that bus. Beautiful. Yeah, you can see there, it's like all the internal metal is taken out. The windows are out of it. The thing has nothing in it. Audio. I hope I don't get like, I don't get like copyright hit. Don't copyright strike me, bro. I don't know anything about this music. Yeah, like my bus can't do that. It's not even close. It's not even in the same like ballpark. Got some super speeder tires on there. Look how much water. Scorpius, I should do some World of Warship streams. You can watch me flip out whenever I get punked by a damn cruiser. Eat 7 torpedoes in a row. I wouldn't know what that thing is hanging off the back. I don't know if that's meant to like. What is that? I don't know what it would be for. Yeah, the only difference between that bus and this one is I got the handy back. I got the lift door back, so it uses up like 2 window spaces. Oh, they're going off road with it. Nice, nice. Mr. Boober says they need to attach some rocket boosters. They do. They do. We have the technology. I remember seeing the Blue Angels flying, and they got a C-130 that's got rocket afterburner, like not afterburners, but what they call it, like rocket boosters. And I got to watch it take off. See, it's the perfect size bus for adventure. But yeah, that's the same style bus. I thought it was cool though when I found out that there was like a whole, well, there's a DVD
Travis Pastrana, Nice Road Circus, the movie. Wow, it's on the cover of that too. I mean, that means nothing to. I mean, it's not like an accomplishment on my end, but that's pretty cool. Um, Heavy reinforcement couldn't hurt in case cryptids want to jump on your roof. You know, when I was going way back, when I was like, okay, I'm gonna quit my job, I'm gonna sell everything, and I'm gonna go hunt cryptids. The original plan was like a conversion van and pulling behind a camper, and I would live in the camper and keep the camper a secret, and then so I could have my personal space, and then I would just like have the van. Once it became like a 1 unit thing, um, the bus I actually ended up really liking the idea for it because at first it was going to be a Class B motorhome, and they just had like regular motorhome siding. But the bus, I was like, well, it's double layer, 16 gauge steel. And while I'm like, okay, this is great. And not only that, but like because this is designed to hold like children, a school bus has to be able to flip completely over and not collapse in the ceiling, so it can survive a rollover. So like as you can see, these studs between each window is a stud that goes all the way across it. And so I'm sitting there going like, oh, this is great. This is like super reinforced. Uh, Old Joe Dole's in there talking about half-inch wrench crew, and like you gotta get yourself an ambulance. An ambulance is like super tough, and I'm like, dude, a school bus is way tougher than any ambulance has ever been. You know what I mean? A school bus is like built to keep children alive inside when they're going to school. If I wish I could take this thing outside, I'll show you the gas tank. Well, it's not a gas tank, the diesel tank. There's like it's got like 2 inch square steel tubing every I think 10 inches wrapped around the entire diesel tank, and it's like an 80-gallon diesel tank. This thing get hit by a train, and that diesel tank's gonna be perfectly fine. Uh, yeah, tuna alert. Tuna's coming by, everybody. Get ready for tuna. Look at her. I just bought her this bed the other day. Are you gonna sit on it? No, you gonna come on over? Okay. Tuna alert. Tuna alert. I love Tuna so much. She's a born streamer. Yeah, go hit some buttons. Okay. Need to put a flux capacitor in. Yeah, I saw one of those like goofy ones, and I actually have like a good spot. Can you not sit there permanently, Tuna? Okay. Tuna, can you just. That's really distracting. There's a cat butt. To you, it looks like it's off camera a little bit, but to me, it was like it's right there. Uh, Heavy reinforcement kind of hurts. But yeah, comment with that. Like, it's pretty well reinforced. Like, I'm not saying it's completely safe. There's obviously those like plexiglass windows everywhere, and I think 70% of the access holes in this bus is technically an emergency exit too. So like, pretty much every half the doors in here, you could like hit a button and they will explode out or they will open up freely. But it's good heavy steel, so it should provide the best coverage of protection uh, than anything else people are driving around in. But I wouldn't mind some of these windows that I'm canceling out doing like some more steel there, so it would be a little bit more protective. Yeah, but ultimately there is giant windows in the front, so like a Bigfoot wanted to get in here, he could just like, I mean, he could do that anywhere basically. Any one of these giant windows, he could just punch out. Yeah, you gotta risk it, you know. Uh, yeah, on my average, one way high school bus ride was about 40 miles or about 40 minutes. Oh yeah. Well, when I first bought this with the original seat in it, I had a 2 hour drive to get back here, and I had to take a break in an hour. It was like the most uncomfortable thing ever. With the new seat, it should be much much more comfortable. And like when I drove it the other day, just moving it around here, it was a lot more comfortable. The only downside is, and I should have thought about this when I picked up the seat. Well, by picked up, I mean ripped it out of a Trailblazer in a junkyard. I should have got the passenger seat because the controls are on this side, on the passenger seat, but the driver's seat, they're on this side, and it's so close to the side of the bus that I can't actually reach any of the controls. So I had to preset the seating adjustments before we mounted the seat in there. So if I want to change them, the only way I can do it is either I get like a clothes hanger and maybe try to like hit them, or I can loosen the seat up off the mount and get my hand on there. So a little bit of an issue. In retrospect, I should have got the other side so I could just have the only thing sucks about that with the seatbelt would have came over here, which is not an issue at all. Wade the Sploot said Wade the Sploot said you've done really good work on the bus, man. What's the bus's name? It doesn't have a name yet. She gets called a lot of things. Old Ironside, because it isn't like a boatyard. So like, so when this thing, it's funny. Like a boat would be getting worked on in one spot, and then like when it's time for the bus to get worked on, I'll move it over there. So it's like there's literally like ships leaving, and then the bus coming in. So Old Ironside gets thrown around a lot by me and the mechanic here, but it doesn't need a name. I contemplated naming it Petunia, because you guys remember there was a kids show called Adventures of Pete and Pete, and I loved it. But the younger brother, who was like 10, had a tattoo of a senorita, Petunia, dance, and it was like a pinup girl in like a red dress, and he'd be like, dance, Petunia, dance, and it would like shake. So I thought about like, oh, maybe Petunia would be a nice name for it. But like I haven't come to a name where nothing's rolled off my tongue yet, where I'm like, okay, that's its name. House of Tuna is probably the most accurate one. Wade the Sploot said dry dock. Yeah, like I literally like pulled into like a dry dock, and then it's like, all right, we're gonna work on cabinetry today, folks. One of the best compliments I got though was from the mechanic here, because this is a marine facility. They mostly do they do motorcycles, but it's mostly boats is what they work on here, and they've seen a lot of boats come through. And the head mechanic here, he was when he was doing the power system for this, he said this is the best power system he's ever seen in anything, let alone a boat. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's pretty impressive setup I got here. I wish I could show you it, but it's like all full of it's like in a box. I can't really show you it, but it's a what is it? It has a 2,560 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery, and then it has a 2,000 watt inverter, which isn't like a crazy huge inverter, but got a really solid, really high end 2,000 watt inverter, and then that runs pretty much everything in here. Right now it's on shore power, so it has a 30 amp shore power ability that goes into it, but got solar panels, and so far it's been really working out great. Petunia is a good name. House of Tuna sounds about right. House of Tuna is the reality of it. She walks around here like she owns the place. Yeah, I'm talking to you. And like she has like more, she uses up more space than I feel like I do. Like this isn't even my bed. Like Tuna's takes up like a quarter of my bed. The whole back of the bus is like Tuna's area. She got like, look at her right now. She got a little clawing station. There's 2 litter boxes back there. She got toys laying everywhere. She demands food constantly. She eats way more food than I do in here. House of Tuna. But there's something about living in a small little thing like this where I've been getting obsessed with watching, and maybe it's because I've been playing a lot of World Warships, but I've been watching a lot of like the old World War II submarine movies. There's something about like the close quarters of it. I feel like I can't actually relate to what it's like being in like in combat in like a Vallejo class submarine, but like I can relate to like being in cramped quarters and getting used to it. And so I think my mind's just been there. So I've been watching a lot of like 50s, 60s, 70s war movies, particularly like Navy movies. Scorpion says, like, yeah, like a sub. It is like a sub. That's what it feels like. Like everything's kind of like tubular. To get things on, it's always like flipping switches. And I feel like I know where everything is, but nobody else knows where anything is or how to like make everything function. So it's been quite a bit of fun. I gotta check the temperature right now. I know it sounds like I said that in like a frantic hurry, but it kind of is because I want to cut off this propane heater. We're getting up to I'll go ahead and cut it off anyway. If it gets cold again, I'll turn it back on. Conservation is key in this. Like, you really have to manage. What's that in here? That was a weird thing for my phone to say. Wait, this Sploot said, you're not wrong. Planes and subs are glorified buses. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. First time I ever rode in a Chinook, my buddy looked back at me. He said, "You ever been in a Chinook before?" And I said, "No." He's like, "It's a glorified city bus." And you get in there, and that's what it was. You just like you basically in this, and the only thing with that is the Chinook smelled like hydraulic fluid, which is good. I guess it shows you that there's hydraulic fluid. Das Tuna boot. Yeah, that was the other thing. I watched Das Boot. I watched like the 4-hour director's cut of Das Boot. That movie rules. I haven't watched. I need to. It's one of my favorite movies. Is Hunt for October. I need to get back and watch that one again. I wish there was. Maybe I should build it here on the desk. I wish I had like maybe like a night vision monitor where I could put on headphones with the super sound running, and I could like have like a little Jonesy moment. I think I'm hearing Pavarotti coming out of their asses. But yeah, so I've been just watching a lot of like submarine movies to try to relate. What else has been there? What else is going on? Nothing much. I think as it warms up today, it's still in the 40s right now, like low 40s. I think once it crosses over to 50 here in an hour, I'll probably start with putting together some of the cabinetry. The refrigerator is going to get raised up a little bit. I'm going to make a little cabinetry underneath it so I can put some totes in there. And then I got to finish the countertop on this side. It's going to fold over right here. It's kind of open. I'm going to have a countertop that will be able to fold up in the middle here. And all that would be covered up. And actually probably use the bottom of the top of the propane will be kind of help support some of that countertop space. So that's what I'm going to work on today. And then that fridge is going to come up like 6 inches. And then I'm going to build some stuff underneath it where I can slide these smaller totes underneath it. And then I'm going to slowly work my way around the bus till I come up to about here. Because I don't want to put in, there's going to be a wall getting put in where this box is. There's going to be just like here. There's a wall right here. There'll be a wall right here. So that'd be the last thing though, because it's kind of convenient to be not having anything blocking you as you're coming in, bringing stuff in. So that'll probably be the last thing I'll do, or at least towards the end of what I do. All right, wow, it's only been 90 minutes. Right on, right on. Yeah, kitties are in here. I just bought her this bed, and then I wrapped it in a heated blanket because I'm a good cat dad. Got a message from someone warning me. Oh, I forgot about this coffee. Well, before I go, though, what's everyone else doing? Tell me what you guys are doing today. Anybody need some advice? I love giving away unsolicited advice. Let me know. Tuna, you got anything to say? No? Tuna girl. Tuna girl. Yeah, she gets like sinus infection, so I gotta like keep a close eye on her. She has to take antibiotics every day for it whenever she gets an infection. So I'm kind of winding her down now. She hasn't had one in a couple of days, but she has started sneezing in the last like few days here. I got an audio question. Do you guys hear that fan going in the back here? It just sounds like a fan. Did anybody hear that? Waveless Blue says, I got Xmas party preparations. Go to get a white elephant gift. Ooh, interesting. Like literally like a white elephant gift. My ex-wife was really into elephants, and that's what she would always kind of want. She got like an elephant tattoo, and then I would usually get her something that was elephant themed in nature. I have to rip some CD box sets and go outside and deal with leaves in the yard from them damn high winds. Yeah, we had crazy high winds yesterday. But what CD box sets did you get? Like music CDs? What'd you get? Just lay down my 3-year-old down for a nap. Oh yeah, it's about nap time. 11 a.m. No gag gift and good gift game. What was that? No gag gift and good gift game. Oh, I gotcha. We used to have a gag gift. I don't know if I should say this publicly because the person who got this for me might be watching. But I got a really terrible present one year, and like I called up like all my family members and were like, "Look at this terrible gift this person got me," and then I would rewrap. This went on for years. I would re-gift it to somebody else in my family, and then it would just float around every year. Someone else would get this terrible gift, and it was pretty funny. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know where it ended. Somewhere someone got it and then wanted it, and they kept it, and good for them. Good for them. Okay, guys. This was a fun time. I'll actually put a show together at some point. This was just barely technically a stream, is what I was trying to do, and I feel like we accomplished it. We got 90 minutes in. I got to figure out what I'm doing for the rest of the day, and I got to answer some text messages I've been getting. So everybody have a great day. Maybe I'll do another one of these things later on tonight when it gets dark out. Maybe I'll take this bus somewhere around here. We'll go do something. But everyone have a great day. Have a great morning. Oh, I got one last thing here. I got the 50th anniversary Pink Floyd. Wish you were here. Got to rip the CDs and Blu-ray. Static X 25th anniversary of Wisconsin Death Trip 2. We're right on. Right on. I know what most of those words are. I know what Pink Floyd is. Right on. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe. And if you got some sun out there, get some vitamin D. That shit's important. All right, y'all. Later. Oh, why does it ask me? You will stop immediately and you will no longer be. Well, yeah. That's the point. Why does it ask me this when I hit end stream?